So I'm looking at YouTube and I see a clip. I think those cards are loud when I try to talk. When there is a clip of a guy named Orlando Brown. He is an actor. Disney has a channel, of course, called Disney Channel. On that channel, back in the day, was a show called That's So Raven that had Raven Simone. Raven Simone is also an actress. She got her start in acting on The Cosby Show. She was Olivia. She was the little baby after Rudy. Orlando Brown he played, I think, Eddie on That's So Raven. And after the show, he went all the way downhill, like all the way. He was pretty much abandoned by all those in his inner circle. Raven stopped fooling with him. The girl who played Chelsea stopped fooling with him. He can't get a job anywhere because he's kind of off the rails. He can't get management. He can't get an agent. One of his friends decided, he would be the last Mohican. He's going to stand by him and try to help him. So he moved him into his apartment and he had a room and everything there. And he said Orlando just kept having episode after episode after episode. And the final straw was he woke up in the middle of the night and was banging on his door. And Orlando was screaming at him because he was accusing the man of stealing his vape pen, which is what they like, the electronic cigarettes. And so the man said, the friend of Orlando said he was going to try to get him some help. So he went to Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil asked him a bunch of questions about Orlando's, I guess, mental state and his well-being. And the man said that, he was giving examples of how he is having these manic episodes. He said they're driving down the street one day and they were listening to music. He turns the music down and says, "Hey, Will Smith is my father. Can you call him?" That's what he said. He said, "Now, you never know if he's playing or is he being serious." And then he said, "My name is Prince and I'm Michael Jackson's son." And so, because one of Michael Jackson's sons is named Prince. And so that's what he's going through right now. And he says he drinks and he smokes weed. There's got to be more than that. His weed is probably laced with something. And so I didn't see the episode, but Dr. Phil then talked to Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown then said, Dr. Phil asked him, "How many kids do you have?" He said, "Man, I don't know, like 4. I think he has 1, actually." He said, "What are their names?" He couldn't tell you what their names were. He said, "What are their ages?" He says, like 2, 1, 4, 11, 18. Now, mind you, he's not old enough to have an 18-year-old unless he had him when he was like 12. So he's sitting there doing this interview. He has contacts in. And the contacts are like these Hollywood contacts that you see for sale. I almost got some too. But they were reptile. So his eyes looked like a lizard. And Dr. Phil asked him, "Well, what is your name?" He said, "Orlando Brown Prince Michael Jackson Jr." And then started laughing. So, I almost don't really know what to ask. I want to see, is he on drugs or is he just purely mentally disturbed? Like, I don't truly get what is happening with him. Is he on drugs? Is he just mentally disturbed? because no one will fool with him. No one will come around. No one calls him. No one does. I mean, what broke? What thing that cracked in him? I don't understand. Was it a drug use? Was it mental illness? The Four of Swords is a card I sort of associate with mental illness, so we'll see if we draw that. There's the Nine. There is definitely some fantasy in his head then. Very much so. There's the Knight of Cups. The Ten of Pentacles. Family is his base. Seven of, yeah, he has mental illness. Wheel of the Year. Ace of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. His career is over. I think that was a starting point. Two of Wands. Page of Wands. After that, so Raven-Symoné went on to do a show called Georgia, or the State of Georgia. After that, she did something else, and then after that, she was on The View, and then after The View, she went back to Disney Channel and did another show of That So Raven, where she was the mother now she had psychic children. He didn't go anywhere. He put out a rap record where he talked about Raven. So let's see. He's very aloof, wishful thinking. This is the Knight in Shining Armor. He has a mental illness. This is the combination. He thinks he's something else. Like when he says, my name is Orlando Brown, Michael Jackson Prince Jr., or whatever he said. No, he doesn't actually believe such a thing. But such a thing is not going to leave his mind just because people say it's not true. He is going to delude himself enough to where that will be his reality. The family is his base. They have abandoned him. For his crowning thought is that it has turned. It has turned for the worse. There's a lot of confusion around you and your career because it is over. This is in your future. Now you would think, because the Ace of Pentacles is like a new venture, a new financial venture, a new financial money, like some sort of seed that you have planted that's about to come to fruition. This is your new plan. This is good luck, all that kind of stuff. Right across from that is the Four of Pentacles. This is clinging to what you have. This is being stingy. This is being a resistant to change. Which tells me that your career is not going, because the guy that's trying to help him is trying to help him because he's trying to get him to a place where he can revamp his career, where he can look out onto the horizon and see something better than what he has. But the problem is you still have to deal with Orlando Brown, who thinks he's Orlando Brown, Prince Michael Jackson Jr. Now, this is usually good news. But right now, a page brings news. But news is, look at news as revelation, something you did not know. Discovery. His fear is that it is over. Seven of Pentacles is your harvest card. So your base and your fear are both money, like the rug under you, your financial stability. He said he doesn't have a bank account. He has his money in his sock. This is not I don't see any hope. Now, I did see after the show that they wanted to send you to rehab in Malibu. You told them you just got out of rehab. And the reason that you were even on Dr. Phil in the first place is because your friend threw you out and then you got arrested. So this man is trying everything he can to keep you alive. You have a mental illness. Hopefully, yeah. It all popped out. You have a deep mental illness. The only way you're going to get over it is if you get actual help. We don't know if you're going to do such a thing. Probably not. That's a little sad. You had it all at one point. You're very fogged right now. There is a lot in your head that just will not leave. I think you may be possessed with something. Something you ingested. Something you were around. I'm going to stick with that. I don't know if rehab can help you. You need a spiritual cleanse. You need a spiritual cleanse. I don't think rehab can help you. You have to defend the magician. There is a deeper magic working here. If we get the Page of Cups, that is going to be my confirmation. Oh, Lord. That's exactly what that is. Because this is like psychic intuition. This is spiritual. The High Priestess is another one. Yeah. Somewhere you went. Somewhere you went, somewhere you are. It's still with you in the world. Someone put this on you. I don't think it was Raven. It wasn't her. But someone put this on you. Lover's card under the Magician. It could have been her. The Three of Pentacles. It was someone you worked with. Six of Pentacles. Under the Eight of Wands. The world, there is abandonment. You have been abandoned. Queen of Swords under the Lovers. The Queen of Cups under the Work. The Knight of Swords under the Six of Pentacles. Then the 8. Yep. Someone you work with has hexed you. You're not getting out of this. Because I think no one in your circle is looking to this. The Seven of Wands is your overall theme. That is a card of defending oneself, defending one's honor, defending one's ideas, defending one's spirit. Right at the beginning, we get the Magician. There's some magic here. Right next to it was the card I was saying is the one I was looking for, this or the High Priestess, to tell me that it was indeed magic. The Eight of Wands is action. Swift change. What happened to you just like that. That's how magic works. You don't have to believe in it for it to be true. There's the World. Somewhere out there, the elements are against you. You don't need to be spiritual to break a hex. You don't need to you don't even need to believe in such a thing for it to happen to you. But someone can help you. That person is you. Because one of the rough things about spiritual hexes is it is hard to interfere with another person's free will. And so if you have been cursed, if you have been hexed, which are two different things, well, not completely two different things, but if you have been cursed or if you have been hexed, knowing it is not always the easiest thing. Because a lot of people look at him just like I did and said, yeah, you have a mental illness, and you do. Someone has poisoned you. Your marijuana is laced with cocaine or heroin. You have been poisoned. And the interesting thing is, they don't need to continue to do anything to you because you will do it to yourself. Because you have aligned with your delusion. And so all they needed to do was plant the seed, and then the world will abandon you, and it will cost you your job. Cost you your reputation. It will eventually cost you your money. And then if you can't turn it around, it will cost you your life. There is your revelation. There was the plan. It was someone you worked with who didn't like you and came after everything you had, which at the time was your name and reputation. And then they use that to their advantage to plug into you some destructive behavior. Find someone. There is someone out there that can help you, that can bring about a healing to your relationships, can bring about a healing to who you are seen as, and maybe your career. But as of right now, you're in a dark place and it's only going to get darker.